Hello everyone again. Welcome to our today's webinar, Strengthen Your Brand and How to Build Consistency across teams and markets. Thank you all for joining us again. For those who don't know me, my name is Zuza Boido. I'm an employer branding and talent acquisition specialist at AdMind, and I'll be your host for the next 90 minutes. But before we dive in, let me set the stage a bit. So this webinar, as I mentioned in the beginning, is a part of our AdMind webinars, our ongoing series created to support brand, marketing, and communication professionals with practical tools, real-world insights, and strategic inspiration. Overall, at AdMind, we believe strong brands are built from the inside out through clarity, alignment, and shared ownership. We're one of Europe's largest B2B branding agencies, working with global organizations like ABB, UBS, Hitachi, and Syngenta to help them scale their brand systems, manage complexity, and empower people across functions and regions. A few technical topics. We are recording today's session, so if you need to step away or want to revisit anything, the recording will be sent to you after the meeting in a few days. You can also find some of our previous webinars on our social media, like for example, YouTube. And also, you can ask questions at any time using the Q&A panel right at the bottom of your screen. At the end of our meeting, if we will have time, we'll answer as many questions as we can. Coming back to today's webinar topic, let's start with a quick theoretical question. So if someone from another department had to describe your brand in 3 words, would they say the same things you would, or would their answer be totally different? And you don't have to answer me right now. Basically, that's the challenge we are looking at today. We know building a brand is never just a design challenge. Some would even say that brand consistency is harder because it's really about shared understanding, which is always tricky. The good news is with the right systems and culture, you can bring everyone together around the same brand story. And that's exactly what we'll dive into. And we'll dive into it with our today's experts. So I'm thrilled to introduce our 2 speakers who bring a wealth of knowledge and real experience working with global brands. So first of all, we have Justyna Dorman, who is our brand advisory strategist and team manager at AdMind. Justyna leads the brand advisory practice at AdMind, supporting companies like ABB, UBS, and Acceleron and scaling their internal brand systems. She's known for turning complex challenges into practical solutions, and her work has been recognized with multiple Transform awards. So hello, Justyna.
Hello, hello.
And next, we also have Magdalena Rymarczuk, who is our senior brand strategist at AdMind. Magdalena blends creativity with structure. She works directly with leadership and cross-functional teams to help brands align strategy, design, and behavior. She's also a strong advocate of conscious branding, something you'll hear more about today. So hello, Magdalena. Hello, Magda.
Hi there. It's nice to be here.
Great to have you here. And a quick reminder, as I mentioned, the recording is, the session is being recorded, and you can also ask the questions at any time at the Q&A section. And without further ado, let's explore what it really takes to build brand consistency from the inside out. So, Justyna, Magdalena, the mic is yours.
Thank you very much, Zuza, for this great introduction. So as Zuza already mentioned, today we'll talk about building brand consistency and from the very practical everyday sense.
Yeah, and when we were discussing our approach to this webinar, we really wanted to make it as conversational as possible. Of course, you're on the other side and we cannot really see you, but we can see you in the chat. But so whenever you have something to add or a question, again, feel free to share these types of inputs there. But we want to keep it very casual, or as casual as possible. We'll be probably glancing at each other,
sure.
which
So
is a bit weird.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's how it is with those types of webinars. So yeah.
Yeah, okay. And actually, we would like to start with some interactive part. And before we will jump into the presentation, we have prepared some questions for you. And now I would like to ask Wawrzek, who is supporting us from technical perspective, to start displaying them. And you will see them one by one. And please answer simply yes or no, depending on what you think, yeah? And there will be few seconds to vote. The first question is here. Do you see that your presentations look different across departments or teams? Yeah, and there are those few questions, a few seconds that we need to wait for answer.
Yeah.
Didn't have any
Hopefully,
music.
I won't sing, but oh wow,
that's a majority.
That's
okay. Thank you for
You're in the right place then. We have
you already know that, you know?
Exactly.
But we have 5 more, yeah?
Yeah. The second one, do you spot outdated visuals popping up all the time or sometimes? Yes or no? Couple more seconds, I guess. Let's see. Okay. Strong 80 as well around it. This is something that we'll also cover here.
True. Let's move to the next one then. Do you notice that colleagues in other departments don't quite see why brand matters?
That's not an easy question.
Yeah.
I guess it depends on the size of the company, right?
True.
And how often do you see each other and talk about brand related stuff?
Or how often do you see their work on your desk? Yeah.
Wow, even more.
Okay. Then I think we have a good audience.
Guess it wasn't that hard for some people. Okay, the next one is, do you have a feeling like your colleagues or agencies take forever to understand your brand guidelines? We try to, as an agency, not to take forever. But yes or no? And oh, here is almost a tie. Okay, that's interesting. That's interesting.
Very interesting. Okay.
Yeah, that's a good. They just ignore them. Okay, that's interesting. That's a good take.
Okay. Do you spend a lot of time fixing brand mistakes?
The question is if fixing as doing actual job or ordering or telling people
I
to
think
fix
everything
them, right?
everything is included under fixing. Yeah.
Yes, 87%.
Okay.
And I guess the last
I
one,
think the
right?
last one, yeah.
The grand finale. Does it take long to find the right assets? I'm betting 73% for yes.
Okay, let's see.
58. I'm not gonna buy a lottery ticket then.
Okay.
Okay, that's interesting. Yeah, I think that's a good base for today's
brand portal module, for example.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. So I guess now it's time for me to share the presentation. So let me do it. Let me go full screen. And I think it's there. Yeah, I see it on Magda's computer. So yeah. Okay, so we ask those questions to actually visualize that those situations are the outcome because the brand consistency is missing. And today, when we're thinking about how to structure this topic, because it's a vast topic, and actually every module here is also a big one. So, but we thought that we will start with those 6. So, like one by one, we will try to describe. We will describe the components, that can contribute to building consistency. So we will talk about brand support, brand system health check, brand portal, and tools for non-designers that help them design, for brand trainings, consistency check, and brand community.
There's a lot of brand.
There's a lot of brands.
but we'll promise that it makes sense in the end, and we'll discover what's behind it.
True. And I have my notes here because I am a person who needs notes, and also, as I told you, the topics are big, so I just want to be sure that we'll mention everything that we wanted. Yeah, that is crucial here. So let's dive to brand support. So the glue that sticks it all together, or as I also like to say, the bridge between people who use the brand on a daily basis and create assets in this brand, and people who manage it. So it has a strategic function, because being close to people and actually helping them understand how they should do things, how to guide them for them to achieve the goals that the company has and they have, of course makes their life easier. But having a brand support is also a very crucial tool for brand management, because it can gather insights. It can enable gathering insights that can be further used to plan brand management actions. And brand support usually is a mailbox, because it has to be accessible. Mailbox that everyone can reach out to in your organization, or smaller or bigger organization. But there are a few important elements of this brand support. And the first one is actually to mention that this is also a knowledge center with a guidance function. This educational aspect of it is very crucial, because you have people reaching out to you, and you have this unique chance to also describe more and advertise more what your brand means, how to do things in it. So this educational aspect is very important. And of course, it's a place that can provide answers, but you can also think about the good brand support as a place that will prevent prevent any problems from happening. Because imagine the situation that you have a person who is really willing to go back to you and consult your projects. So then you are in a perfect situation, in a perfect world where you can give guidance and have the on-brand output. And it's actually, in my opinion, good for every organization, either big or small.
Okay, because I was thinking, if we were to put ourselves in the client's shoes, if I were the client, and I'm going to be probably a sort of double agent today, bit of a client perspective, bit of a strategy perspective, but from the client perspective, how do I know that it's something for me?
So I already told you, this is, in my opinion, actually, it can work for everyone. But because, it's like, imagine we're all living in this reality where people are creating a lot of assets each day. Of course, the scale depends on the company. But it is happening. The materials are being produced. So actually, the reality of many teams creating content, we have it, and brand support is the place that can enable them to do good things, that will make it easier for them to do on-brand stuff. But I also have an opinion that there are particular moments in brand life cycle that are called changes in general. So, for example, there is some brand visual refresh or acquisition, merger, anything, from a smaller change to a bigger one. And usually change comes with the different feelings, because there can be some resistance, which is like, not the nice feeling, of course. There can be some people can fear the change, and even if they are, cheerleaders of the change and they really would like to contribute to it, sometimes they don't know how, so we we really can give the brand support there to them as a place that will, help them go through this change.
Then it's not that scary anymore, potentially, right? With the
True.
implementation of it.
And I think a very important thing here is also to mention that having brand support creates a huge base for of the insights. I mentioned it very briefly that it can give brand management insights for planning actions. But actually, you can track with what people are coming to you, with what topics. You can see where the training is, for example, needed. You can see where the guidelines are working or not. You can see what assets, what templates are missing. So, this is for sort of, proactive brand management. So, I think this is also important part and the plus that brand support is giving you. When we were planning this, we also thought about giving some practical topic, not only theory, in every of those areas. So now I would like to go to the next slide and actually tell you, okay, so you have this brand support. What now? Because it's not that like the theory is nice, to have it, but actually to run it properly, it's also challenging. And it's always challenging, but there are some things that can be done by brand support to actually achieve what it's supposed to do. So I was thinking about sharing some communication tips. May sound obvious, but believe me, in the reality of everyday work, emotion, overload, sometimes it's very easy to have misalignment. So the first one, create friendly atmosphere. From our experience, we know that it's not possible almost, or very hard to do, to have a brand check as a mandatory thing in the process. And it's okay. So it's creating actually friendly atmosphere there on brand support is can contribute to actually having like a frequent users of this service. So people that actually would like to come back to you. And there are also plenty situations when people will reach out to the brand support in the very last moment of their project, after they have been after they are after too many after the approvals, that many approvals already happened. And people tend to treat the brand support as the sign of place, and it's very hard to actually take some action at the end. So very important approach from people working in brand support is to not to discourage this person to contact us again. So to help the project happen and make them come back later on the earlier stage, in the future. Be informative and friendly. So
that's sort of a life also communication tip, only brand communication tip.
I mean, we write emails every day, so I hope those tips can be also good tips for everyday communication. Friendly kind of atmosphere is already touched, but be informative. In the end, people are reaching out there to get some the information that they want. So it's not really worth writing, I don't know, 2 pages, 2 PDF pages of content and pasting it into the email. Different, type of communication can be chosen here. Focus on providing answer. This may sound very obvious, but this is also what can be missed. Because, especially in the longer threads, in the topics that are more complex, it's very easy to actually miss what the requester asked for. So always ask yourself, if I know, what is my task? Because it's actually very important to support projects, not sort of police them.
Yeah. Actually, it's. I was thinking, what is the difference? Because sometimes the brand support perspective can be seen as brand policing, and it can be either this or that. And the second one sounds a bit scary to people. So how do you find that balance between one and the other?
So I've been hearing about this brand policy for 8 years now.
Yeah.
I mean, the term popping up sometimes because, in the end, brand support is a place where people will also send off brand stuff, and brand support will have to say no. So for me, not doing brand policing is about supporting the projects and making them happen, rather than blocking them. Oh, maybe like this.
Okay. So like a good cop, but also not police.
Yeah, because in the end you are representing the brand. So but everyone should be on the same page. We will end
like an older sister or older brother.
Okay. Keep it short and to the point, because I'm talking a lot of time about this brand support. So this is also a tip for me.
That's a tip for you.
Yeah. Maybe referring, to writing a lot of content. It's not always a good idea. A support and guide. So you make projects happen, and you also use this unique opportunity that actually you have people's attention, and you can spread some knowledge and educate. Maybe since Magda, we have you here. Hey, I was always wondering, do you see the correlation between having brand support and how the brand is perceived, or
from the strategic perspective?
From the strategic perspective, yeah.
I would say that the brand support is sort of like this last mile of strategy. And it acts as a place where you have, of course, you have your values, you have your positioning, but then you collide it with messy real life situations through the brand support. So if you really want to understand the true state of your brand, you go straight to the support inbox. So that's basically where the honest questions appear. And I think that's especially valid from the strategic perspective is brand values, because they are, in my opinion, extremely important and extremely helpful, but sometimes they tend to be either bland or very foggy, and people don't really get what's behind them. And the brand support can be there to say, okay, what does it mean that we're open or transparent, or for everybody's favorite word, that we're professional, or whatever you want to put there as the brand value. The brand support is basically the moment for translation of the brand value or the brand strategy. So what does your brand promise or value or any of that aspects? What does it mean in exact content of an asset or specific type of communication? So I would say that definitely something like this. It's definitely intertwined.
Okay. Yeah, and we do that a lot, like explaining, as you said, the values, the positioning, strategy.
We need something for that, because usually strategies is the thing that disappears quicker. And to keep track of it and adapt it still to the communication as we go, the brand support is definitely there for that. Yeah.
And I also like the sentence you said, that the brand support is the last mile.
Last mile of strategy.
I will use it in the pitch presentations from now on. It's a very cool thing.
Take it.
Okay. So to take away. So the brand support translates brand strategy into daily decisions. as you just heard from Magda. Gives clear guidance when teams need it the most. For example, in a time of change, but not only. It reduces misalignment and educates, create consistent on-brand outputs, and build an engaged community. And this is a sneak peek because we have a plan to end up with the brand community topic. So let's elaborate later on that. Okay, the second component, we are back on track, and now let's dive to brand system health check. And my notes as well. So this is your diagnostic tool. So this is the audit that uncovers the gaps in brand knowledge, in workflows, in tools, ways of working. And this is a very good base for building good brand governance system. Because, if you don't know and you don't map what is working and what is not, then it's very hard to create an improvement. So basically I was thinking also about some indication where to do this. So the sort of early signs that maybe it's needed.
Probably that's a good thing to think about from the client perspective. When is the exact moment, or like what is the screaming exclamation points? Hey, you should check out brands. Of course, everybody probably thinks that. When should I get my brand system checked? But in case you actually do, I think it would be good to explore that.
I was thinking about the very common thing, so that you actually open social media and you see that someone posted there something of brand, something that may be harming the brand.
Like we had in the questions at the beginning, right? The question about
outdated visuals popping up everywhere. True. Or maybe there is a situation that you're paying for the third time the external agency for doing a similar kind of design. Or maybe there are some pushbacks from the teams that are creating stuff, and the teams don't want to align with what you're suggesting that should be changed. Or maybe there is no governance system at all yet. This is also a good place to start with it. Okay, enough?
I think so. I think we can move to the exemplary questions that we have.
So exactly, because how do you actually do it? You just go out there to your organization and you ask questions, good questions, to people, to the selected group of people, and people you can choose from different departments. You can use even in HR, because they are producing a lot of employer branding related assets. They are creating onboardings to the company. So this is really first things that new joiners see. You can go, of course, to marketing team. Because they are producing content for for the promotions, like all the time, and promotional content. And then you can go to social media managers as well. This is also the place. And what actually you should ask, I think we should it's always good to start with grouping questions. And you can group them in the areas like the understanding of brand, so how they actually can explain what the brand stands for. You can ask if there was any change, for example, recently, how they understand this change, like, you will see in a second the question, exemplary question. Or maybe about the brand support, if people even know that it is there, or the brand management, who is there to support them, if they know where to look for assets. And here comes the questions, because we thought that this can be this practical, tip from this area. So the first question: how does your work relate to representing or communicating the company externally or internally? And actually, it can give you a wider perspective where and how the brand is actually used. Because people will tell you, what are my needs. Second question. I have two favorite ones from here, and this is the one of them. First one.
You can tell that Justina is passionate about her work because she has her favorite question.
Yeah, I love it. I love work here.
That was a compliment.
Okay,
take it.
Oh, it's mine then. Okay. So imagine that you need to explain your company's positioning to a colleague that just started. What would you say?
I think that's that I can chip in here because
so it's not only mine.
I'm taking it from you for now.
Okay.
I don't know if it's gonna be my favorite, but definitely I think it's the real reality check, that kind of question, and it's a reality check for the brand purpose, and it's through the language, because basically when you ask people something like that about your company's positioning, when they replied in their own words, those words mirror how far the strategy has traveled already. So in those types of answers, you may see how mature is your brand, how easy to grasp it is. You can also spot some patterns in responses that reveal where your brand is going. Is it smooth? Is it bumpy? Where is the friction? And that can also help you further decide what kind of priorities you want to set. And if there is a need from the strategic perspective to clear or to maybe make the brand purpose more detailed, or if you should actually maybe even work on it, do a brand refresh or a rebranding. If, for example, a lot of people say something completely different about your positioning that you intended for them to view your brand. So yeah, definitely this question is a cool one from the strategic perspective.
Okay. Yeah, and I also, can agree here that hearing actually people in their own words, what they think the brand stands for, what it should communicate, it's a very, very revealing.
Yeah.
Thank you. So next question, on the scale from 1 to 10, how confident do you feel using the brand in your work? So actually it shows the readiness, of your respondents to create on-brand stuff on daily basis. If you needed brand guidance or assets tomorrow, where would you look? This can reveal if people actually know that there is a place where all the guidelines and templates and assets are stored. And who would you reach out to for brand related questions? Because, people sometimes, people want to, create on brand stuff. Sometimes they just lack the support, and maybe it's easier to go, in the direction that they tend to go previously. So actually having this, the person they can reach out to is crucial there. And the second, of the favorite ones. If you could request one thing from the branding team, what would it be? Because this is, an open question, sort of magic wand question.
Yeah.
with this
like
one
a
wish.
Genie in a bottle.
Yeah.
I want more I want more wishes. Yeah. That would be my wish.
Yeah, but here, since you can point to this, one thing only, you can see what's the most important for people, and actually they can direct you in a places you would never think of.
Mm.
Yeah, and also going further to the summary.
I'll take that one. So to sum up the brand system health check, what you have to remember is that it identifies the gaps and opportunities, as you can see, share understanding of current challenges, but also gives you potential improvements or priority of improvements and next steps. It can reveal hidden blockers to the consistency, and lastly, help spot natural brand ambassadors that
and as another sneak peek.
Another sneak peek for the next part. Okay, we're all down, two down, couple more to go.
True. The third component on the way, brand portal and tools. Let's do a deep dive. So brand portal is basically a place where you store all the knowledge about the brand. Yeah, you have their guidelines. You can explain the company strategy. You can include templates, brand assets that people can use. And I won't be talking a lot about Brand Portal because earlier this year we had a very cool webinar on Brand Portal topic. It was done with collaboration with Frontify, and you can check it on our YouTube. So I just want to tell you that, having Brand Portal is also important from, the consistency, keeping the consistency there. And actually, Brand Portal is the website, that you can access all time that you need, like day and night, from every location that is there. And this has a huge advantage over the PDFs, and the
you always get
guidelines.
lost at some point.
True, and also, you just send it out there to people. They save it on their desktop for forever, and the brand just stay as it is. And
exactly.
if there are any changes, it's harder to implement them. So this, option to keep it alive is a very good option. And I was consulting this topic before the webinar with one of our specialists from Brand Portal team, and actually. I know that it has been checked that together with our growth team, that actually the cost of creating PDF guidance in PDF is comparable to creating a smaller website. So you can have the online base. And I think the very important thing is also to remember here that the technology only does not guarantee consistency. So it's one of the components. This brand portal, but also need to remember about other components. But I know, Magda, that I wanted to ask you, from your experience, if you ever encountered the situation when not having this one source of truth caused any problems for the
in a project. Okay. I would say that from a research perspective, the first thing that we usually go for, if we have the option to it, we go to the brand portal before we ask any initial questions to the client, which saves a lot of time because we can get to see what we still have to learn about it and then ask further questions. But also in terms, for example, for in campaigns. So when we do global campaigns, and we tend to have global perspective and then local markets, when we have the brand portal, we can be sure that the concept that we built based on the content of the brand portal, if it goes to the local teams, then the local teams can also always double check, how we need to implement it, where should we look, is that all on brand and stuff like that. So I would say that definitely it's a place for different stakeholders. It's not only for the employees, but also for agencies, for freelancers, for business partners, to have this shortcut into the inner world of the brand, and to see what it stands for, how it sounds, how it shows up. Because like I mentioned, especially from the strategic perspective, the graphic, the design part of the brand is often easier to find. It's very visual, of course, but with the strategy, it often gets lost in the PDFs. So I think that without a clear home like this, the different tones, it gradually just creates different versions of the brand or the communication or the story, and the narrative drift just becomes all omnipresent, I think. So yeah, definitely all good sides, no negative sides of brand portal, I would say.
Yeah, but also the scaling things, in the organization. It's always a challenge.
And if you have, for example, a campaign that is ongoing, or if you have to refresh it, or not, doesn't have to be necessarily a campaign, it can also be some other type of project. You can always be sure that if you come back to that place, it's up to date, and you don't have to check it twice somewhere else.
Okay. Moving further, we thought that it's also it would be beneficial to mention that the majority of people who are using the brand on daily basis are not designers. So it's always a good direction to make it easier for them, because if it would be easier to create something on brand, then it's more likely that people will do it. So I thought that we can very briefly talk about some tools related to the three areas in which I guess a lot of assets are created on daily basis. So PowerPoint, social media, and content in general. I mean, images, pictures, illustrations, text, and so on. And this is not like I am advertising any tools, and I know that there are much more tools than I will speak about, but this is just to give you a hint that you can look for this support, So the first thing that I want to mention is Templify. This is the tool that not only includes the template, the PowerPoint template, but it can have some additional interactive layout structure that can help organize your slides. It has a base of on-brand assets, so you can upload right away on-brand picture. You don't have to look on internet for something off-brand. You have some ready pictograms, illustrations there, and it might be easier for people to create with the help of such tool. For social media, Canva.
And everybody's favorite.
Okay, yeah, I know. But actually, we have experience of reorganizing Canva for one of our clients. And we also created some templates there that are the most frequently used. And I can tell you that the groups that are the most heavily using this support that was given are people from HR, for example, because as I told you, that they are preparing a lot of onboarding materials, employer branding materials. Some people, as people who create, for example, some repeatable materials for events as well, that you don't have to get the creative agency each time to create the same material. So basically, this may, if you will provide the templates there as well, nicely organized, it will be easier for people to create on-brand stuff, but also what is really good, you can see what was created there. So you can, give it a look, and actually you can also spot there if anything is, misunderstood, and can be improved. And the topic that we needed to touch, so AI tools. So basically, it's no longer the topic of, hey, if I can create it, because everyone is creating materials with the help of AI. And I also remember that one of our bosses recently posted something on LinkedIn with the message that there is a correlation between how that with AI you can create content faster, but it's also less consistent. So I can agree, because if you don't feed it with proper knowledge, then you don't have the expected outcome. And I remember that once in the past we were also involved in creating the principles in this topic, just to express what is the brand management point of view statement, how they perceive, how the things should be created, and within such principles you can give hints for some prompts, for example, what prompts to use to generate an image, a text. I also remember we granted once ChatGPT to reflect the tone of voice of our client, and yeah, it looked really well. So it can improve and make faster the production of the content, the text content, and it's in the tone of voice that you expect. So there is a lot. And I also remember like part of the work were workshops, that Magda was leading.
Yeah. We had one client that it was the I would say the earlier days of AI, maybe not this current state that is a bit more hectic and complicated, but at the very beginning where everybody was trying to figure out how to approach it and how to involve it within businesses. And we did that workshop where we had specific types of assets and types of communications in that brand. And we put them in those brackets of, okay, which is human only? What is something that we can do that is mixed? That some of it is prepared by employees, by humans, and some of it is AI. And then lastly, those aspects that could be purely AI. And what I remember also that was interesting, a funny phrase came up from one of our colleagues who introduced this notion of centers of mystery, which sounds really magical. And she explained it in a way that there has to be some elements within brand in terms of AI and how it works and how far it reaches, that there has to be some space that it cannot reach, in a sense, that there has to be something that is reserved for human perspective, human insight, and that no matter how far we go with it, it will never reach that specific point that only the human perspective can reach. So definitely this whole topic probably could use another half an hour or two addressing, but there was a workshop like that. It was quite fun to facilitate, and also gave us some cool
outputs,
results.
And I also think that there is a tendency, let's automate everything, and it's like also very important to know that there are some things that really need this human.
We can have balance of both.
True. Okay, to wrap it up, takeaways. So brand portal as one central source of brand truth, easy access for assets, templates, and guidance. About the tools, give the people tools that will empower them to do on-brand stuff. Brand portal reduces narrative drift across markets. This is also what Magda mentioned. And very important thing, remember that the tools, it's not enough. It should be accompanied with trainings. Because if you just give something to people and you don't tell them how to use it, you cannot expect that they will use it in the way that you intended to. Okay, halfway there. Okay, brand trainings. Let's deep dive there. Okay, so brand training, it's not only the training from the identity positioning. Actually, you can think about it as a strategic activity. Because it can shape actually how people perceive the brand. You have this one chance to explain what the brand stands for, and this is where they will end up with particular image in their head, that they will later be advocates of or not. It depends. So usually it's good to start with like a basic brand training. So
and how do you even know if you need one?
I wanted to touch on that. Okay, but I can do it right away. So I think at first you have to diagnose the needs, that are there, because from the conversations that I have with different clients, I remember one in particular when one client told me that, hey, it's no way that regular basic brand training would be beneficial for my organization. No one would listen. No one would know later how to translate the guidelines into the real projects. So actually it's good to diagnose the needs. What is the readiness and the level of understanding already there in the organization. And then it shows what kind of training is needed, because I cannot imagine the situation where brand training is not needed. Maybe it's I'm biased, but yeah, but yeah, I would say so.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you can always, I mean, as brands, some people compare them to like people, whatever, but they definitely evolve, right? Even when Susa was talking about conscious branding, we have this brand evolution path where you have different types of state of the brand, where you're more green or more conscious or ultimately regenerative. So it all flows in a sense that you have to adapt to it. So there's continuous learning needed, right? To evolve.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Of course. And also, like, talking from the experiences, you already opened the topic. Once we had a chance, when we had to support with brand trainings in the situation when one company acquired another, and the acquired company needed to very quickly jump into the new brand, and needed to very quickly understand how to create things, what the brand stands for. But also at first we started with actually diagnosing their needs, because we knew the agenda from the brands that they needed to switch to, but we were also focusing on understanding their perspective, starting, for example, with screening through their old brand portal, so to see how they were solving particular things previously, and then what they may expect from us, and, for example, how they can solve the same topics in the new brand that they just started with, and we also wanted them to feel welcomed in the company. It's something that we also to create the environment where they would like to go to these trainings as well. So yeah, this is sort of diagnosis, that you can do. But coming back to the structure of the training, is it tips for preparing trainings? But first, I would like to also mention one thing, like the structure maybe of basic brand training, because actually from when you do the diagnosis, it influences how the content is structured on the presentation. So it's always good to, of course, include why the brand is important in general. You can, for example, refer also to the companies that you admire, how they do branding. You can illustrate it also on some famous brands, this opens eyes. And then, of course, deep dive into the strategy positioning in a very easy way. We need to remember that, people who will be attending those trainings are not designers. They don't have to understand everything from the branding perspective or what is even the brand strategy, but they have to execute it, So it's very important to, in a very simple words, translate everything. And of course, there is a module of some, visual identity, and some basics like how to use the logo, colors, typography. And there can be also trainings from different topics, what you think is the most important, what you will diagnose during during the diagnose phase, You can have trainings on digital assets, on print, on trade shows, events. You can have them on illustrations, even choosing the photos, whatever is needed there. Okay. So, so I lost a little bit the flow of the presentation. So this will be first a little bit of a summary. So start with diagnosing the needs. Choose the modules and create training structure to address the needs. Gather not only best practices, but real life projects. And this is what I didn't tell you about, because after the training, we don't want to have the impression that, okay, I heard it all, but I still don't know how I can do my projects, yeah? And in this diagnosis phase, you can actually gather the projects from around the company, and you can rebrand them for them, yeah? And show them, hey, how this can actually work in your organization. Make them short as much as possible, because I know that even our webinar is so long, and I don't know if we still have your attention, but the branding is a vast topic as well, yeah. So maybe it's good to do the priorities there, yeah. What is the most important for the training, and the most that's something that is more and more common. So make them interactive. So actually, adults really like to have this gamification part. We started with this question at the beginning. Maybe we should have some gaming thing in the middle. Let's take it as an insight for the next part. But actually, it can bring audience closer to you and bring their attention, yeah, to you. Takeaways.
Okay, so I think that definitely we can talk about brand trainings as the tool to keep everyone on the same page. So we have community, agencies, and partners. Definitely something that connects brand strategy to real applications. It ensures consistent onboarding, but also encourages ownership and brand advocacy, and then strengthens long-term brands quality. And the last one is actually something that I wanted to mention while I was listening to you talk about it, that it really resonates with me that the brand trainings are sort of this translation labs in a way, because that's where because you mentioned that people may not know about the strategy. Of course, it's not the topic that is very easy to grasp, but I think that the brand training is in a way this place where you can rewrite the strategy into everyday language and into real processes and choices that people make in their work. I don't really that much care in the end, of course, if someone can repeat a line of brand strategy positioning that I wrote, but I want them to explain it in their own words and to understand it. So I think that the good training definitely can change how people brief each other, how they select examples, how they work on the consistency. So yeah, I think just adding to your perspective, it really makes sense for me that it's this type of translation from the strategic perspective. Yeah.
Okay, let's go further.
Yeah.
So we have 2 topics left. There are a bit shorter ones, so stay with us there. The consistency check. So actually, this is something that you can do as well. And this is simply the review of how you are perceived from the outside, yeah? Because this is the review of the touch points, like the website, so something publicly visible, your social media, the articles published there, newsletters sent out there, whatever touches with the customers, yeah? And how consistently actually the brand identity is expressed, yeah? And there you can see, because usually, it's the moment where it's already published, yeah. So you can also use it as a chance to see how this is how people react to this, yeah. But actually, how to do it, we thought about giving some tips where you can look.
Yeah, I can even see in the chat we have one question that sort of matches that section that says, what warning signs should I look out for when it comes to my brand's consistency?
True.
Yeah. So there you go. You should pay attention to this slide.
The warning signs. So about the logo, for example, is the logo used consistently across channels, like the proportions, placement, colors? Is it distorted or not? If the submarks are used intentionally. Then the color palette. Are the brand's colors used consistently? Are the backgrounds and all the accents and overlays consistent? And do all the brand touch points maintain the same palette? Yeah, so you can have this the same feeling. And then the typography. Are the same fonts being used? Are the font sizes visually consistent? Do the text styles in images post match the web use? Then about the imagery. Is the imagery style consistent? Yeah, is it the same there? Do the graphic elements repeat across different touch points? I mean, icons, shapes, pictograms, frames, whatever is there. Is the layout consistent as well? Yeah, like the grid, spacing, because layout is also what people notice. And the tone of voice. Do the captions, headlines are in the same tone of voice? Depending on what your company chose. Are CTAs feeling consistent on all the platforms?
I think for this one especially, the tone of voice, because the copy and the CTA is one thing, is very based on implementation, but also I think from my perspective, it's also about the narrative coherence, I would say. So taking it a bit further, to really answer the question of, okay, does it look and sound like us in the general sense of the storyline? Because if you achieve that part where you see something and, oh, this sounds like this brand, or this definitely looks like this brand, that is one of the strongest brand's assets that you can have. Because if the brand is coherent and the narrative stays in place, and is visible across different elements, then you can more easily, if it's needed, spot any sort of differences and either go with them and treat it, okay, we're going to try that path, or that difference in one type of communication can be, okay, maybe this is a place where we can explore a different path for a brand. But as long as the narrative is coherent, I think, then it can translate into tone of voice and CTAs and copy in general, right?
True.
Yeah.
Thank you for jumping in. And to take away from this, this brand consistency check, the visual consistency check, but not only visual, because there is also like a tone of voice, makes local and global gaps visible. So you know where people struggle with. It helps maintain brand quality over time, because it takes a lot of time, to build it. And in short terms, it addresses immediate brand bumps, but in a long term, it also allows to take a broader look at the brand positioning. Okay, the last
one, the grand finale.
True. So brand community, we sort of sneak peek it before. So what is actually brand community? This is the group of engaged individuals in your organization that feels like, they are ambassadors of your brand. Yeah. They are advocates of your brand. They want to share the knowledge. They want to create on brand stuff. They help brand function on a daily basis. And we thought that maybe it will be good, like as a practical takeout from this, to actually tell you where you can look for those brand ambassadors. But maybe before, Magda, I can ask you. So if you ever saw, in your work experience, that having brand ambassadors can influence.
How does it relate to brand strategy? I think, I think it definitely influences. I would say that maybe in terms of employer branding, in a way, because if you have a group of people, group of individuals who are very much involved in the brand and outspoken, of course, in a good sense, and proactive, then the word travels. I think we live in a world of too many influencers probably, but we do live in a world of influencers. So those types of influencers also exist in the business world. So as the word travels, that some people are active and they care, then it builds the employer branding perspective of the brand as being a good employer, an active one, and that also can, in a way, translate to the business results, right? Because it's a holistic system. So definitely on the outside and on the inside. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. So where to look for the brand ambassadors? So actually, we can go back to the first stop that we had today. So the brand support. You can search for the frequent users or people who are really active there, but it doesn't have to be that they are already promoting your work. There can be people who are just constantly arguing a bit with you, because actually in the end they really care for the good output. And so you can spot very active users there in brand support. Second, we're back to the second stop that we had, so brand health check. People who you spot during this brand health check, because maybe you will end up talking with someone who you will learn that is very fond of the brand, very fond of what brand team is doing, educating people already there in their team, in their department. But maybe someone will mention also other people. Yeah, so this is also a good place to visit. To the first stop, so brand portal. People who want to upload their projects, to brand portal, because they want to share what stuff they did. They are eager to do it. Let's use it. I guess every company has some internal social media, and people who are active there, who are active on branding groups. This is also a cool place to look.
I think also from on this point, from the business perspective and outside perspective, even talking about the publicly available social media like LinkedIn and stuff, looking for people there who are active and letting them talk about the brands gives you some sort of potential business advantage, because the networking aspect of it is broadened, right? So it's not,
but we're going outside.
Yeah. So it's not only potentially on the internal side, but also externally as well.
Yeah, true. Okay. People who ask questions during trainings. This might sound as an obvious thing, but if someone is eager to learn,
they care, right? If they
care,
ask. But
people who proactively reaches out to you with improvement suggestions. This sort of relates to the first one. So brands support frequent users, but there can be people reaching out to you in the office or on Teams or everywhere that, for example, have some experience with creating any materials, or so they can contribute also to developing brand materials. And it's not an easy thing to create brand community, and there are many actions that can be taken, but this is a cool place to start to search for the brand ambassadors. So takeaways. Brand community, because also the good thing to mention is that it's not only that people are right now obligated to do the duties of brand ambassador, but also you need to give them something. They need to get something out of it, because usually there is no such a role in the organization like brand expert, brand ambassador. This is usually an extra job for someone,
or like an activity,
exactly. So it's always good to give them something, to keep this community alive, bring some value for them. So it turns employees into active brand contributors, facilitates shared learning and best practices. Yeah, because this is also a very cool thing, because you can have a call where people can share what nice they did in the last month, up there, and they can promote their work and spread the good news. Build belonging around the brand. Yeah, this is also, there's, I think, even this trend, like globally, that we like to belong somewhere.
Yeah.
So yeah, if we can create it here, it's always a plus. And it strengthens long-term brand culture. Okay, so to sum up, what do you gain out of focusing on brand consistency? People feel supported. Systems are clear and accessible. Teams share the same understanding. Tools that get things done. Continuous learning. And the community works as one. And very important thing, it really takes time to build this consistency. Because, it may sound in a theory that this is something, to be done right away, but actually it takes a lot of time and a lot of resources, and on a daily basis. It's not that easy, to kick off everything from the beginning. So it takes time. This is important to remember, that the outcomes you will see in a longer perspective.
Mm-hmm.
And then,
yeah, we have a.
Okay,
Yes.
so let me stop the sharing.
Sure. Thank you very much, Justina and Magdalena, for sharing your impressive knowledge and insights. I mean, it was really interesting, 90 minutes, actually.
Thank you.
So thank you for that. And we covered
For
a lot
90
today.
we talked for 90 minutes, yeah.
Almost
90 minutes. So we covered a lot today. And there's a lot to take in, but all crucial places, like pieces of brand consistency. So now let's open up the floor for questions. So if you haven't already, feel free to drop your questions in our Q&A panel at the bottom of your screen. We'll do our best to address as many as we can with the time we have left. And you actually answered one of the questions already, but we have another few. So the next one is, how can I explain to my employees the true importance of brand consistency? How can I make sure that each of them understands it and follows the guidelines?
Okay.
Do you want to take it?
I can, sure. So to the employees, because I need to see it visually. I don't see it, so it's hard from. Okay,
it's in Polish.
It's in Polish. Okay. It has so many answers. I think in every module you can find a piece for the answer that can be built here. Of course, it's very hard to explain in a short words. We're just speaking for such a long time, so where to focus.
But I think in the second part, how to make sure that it reaches the people, I think that brand trainings is actually
so you need
in a sense, right?
Yeah. So you need to start there with diagnosing these needs, so what they actually need, and if there is any obstacle, because maybe there is some obstacles there that they don't want to do on brand stuff. Maybe this is where the question comes from. Then you need to learn why they don't want to do it, and then you can try to tailor the training. And it's like with people who are resistant to the change, it takes more time and more more knowledge sharing, I would say. So you have to be very consistent with sharing this knowledge, and because also brand training is not a one-time thing. It's something that should be repeated, and actually you can also if organization allows it, you can use also, I don't know, other meetings, space in the office to sort of talk about this important
and
stuff.
Include people actually in the conversation about the brand, right?
True.
I think also the part of the aspect of community can be a good benefit, because they also like get something from it.
Yeah.
They can speak up, they can share their view on the brand, they can feel included. I know it's all very soft type of elements, but they, I think, then further on translate into business perspective in the longer run.
Yeah, true. And, I think there is no short way, here. This is like, the actions, repeating yourself and repeating yourself. And define the needs, Define what's the problem that they don't want to,
Does that answer your question? I don't know who asked it, but I hope it does.
I hope as well. If not, let us know, give us a follow-up.
Yeah.
We have another question, this time from a different perspective. The other question is, what about B2B? And the company needs to be consistent when talking to client company, but there are also final clients.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, true.
Well, most of our experience actually is in B2B. So all of the examples that we told you about, they are hand in hand in B2B. I think, from the B2B perspective, there is definitely the aspect of global management and brand management and the local teams and the divisions and the end users. And as long as the core of the communication and of the brand is consistent, then you may use slightly different type of communication for the end users and clients and the company or business partners or the local offices. Because of course you cannot reach everybody with the same type of messaging. You have to differentiate it, because those audiences have different needs and have different challenges and motivations. So I would probably say that to first focus on the core and what the brand is about. That is not for discussion in a sense.
Non-negotiable.
Non-negotiable, but also negotiable if you want to evolve. But then as you go on to either business partners or end clients or your own team, I think you just have to think, okay, what are their motivations and needs, and address those.
And also there might be a situation that someone from your team is actually, or someone from the teams there are approaching clients like directly. So it's very crucial for them to have the understanding what the brand stands for, to translate it to the clients as well.
And also what is interesting from the B2B perspective that we've been noticing, and I've been talking about it for a while now, that using emotions is coming as something that is looking, I don't know how to put it, something that is appearing more and more in B2B. So not basing your opinions and your communication on rational aspects only, which was always the case for B2B, because these are serious stuff compared to B2C sometimes. Of course, it depends on the topic, but there are already some reports and cases and data showing that having the emotional side in the communication can be even more effective in reaching people and convincing them than using rational aspects only. Because, okay, rational aspect gives you the perspective and the data and the information, but then ultimately what keeps the attention going are the emotions and the connection with other people. So maybe that's also the case to consider in terms of B2B. Okay, any more questions?
I think we are slowly running out of time. And also, as Katarzyna on chat mentioned, like you ladies actually covered all the questions that she had. So I feel, like there are a lot of people who feel that way because there's a lot of content and actually a lot of things that we can dig in and like have the answers to the questions that probably people had before that meeting. So I think we can slowly wrap up. Of course, if you have last minute questions, let us know. We hope like you're walking away with fresh insights, like practical ideas, and maybe even a few like aha moments to take back to your teams. Just last reminder, as I mentioned at the beginning, this session was recorded and we'll be sending the replay to all registered participants in the next few days. So keep an eye on your inbox. And if you found today valuable, you'll happy to hear that we also have other webinars coming soon next year. We'll be diving deeper into topics like brand governance, employee engagement, and tools for scaling brand systems. Yeah, if you have more questions or feedback, don't hesitate to reach out. On behalf of Justina and Magda and the whole Advine team, thank you for being here. Yeah, have a great day, guys. Thank you very much for being with us. Justina, Magda, again, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.